All right, my beautiful peoples, welcome to episode 4 of this 1 hour series that I'm doing where I'm just giving y'all life. I'm talking to y'all. I'm just giving y'all deeper breakdowns and shit like that. And it's giving y'all a space to actually just realize a lot of things that we go through is normal. I think that's probably the biggest thing, right? We be isolating ourselves beyond belief, right? We'll be going through some traumatic shit, some fucked up shit, and we'll center our attention so much on the situation and our shortcomings that we forget that the shortcoming is actually normal, granted the situation, and there's millions of other people that have been in your exact position and have seen the other side. So once you realize this is something that a lot of people have beat, a lot of people have gone through, a lot of people have overcame, whether it's you chasing, success, a monetary goal, some type of passion, some type of love, some type of peace, you're healing from some shit, you just went through some shit, all of it is attainable. As I promise, you can look around and you can find at least one person that's equated to the things that you're asking for. But you may have to look for it. I think that's things that we don't do enough. We'd be like, oh, don't compare ourselves and everything like that. Yes, don't compare ourselves to bullshit. Don't compare ourselves to things that's making us insecure. But sometimes we need some sort of self-evaluation. What am I doing that somebody else has done that they have also got themselves out of? So I can see where I may be thinking in a place of lack, where I may be fucking up. You feel me? Like, oh my God, for instance, it takes you being around people who know how to communicate healthy. I went through some very fucked up situations. I'll be honest with you. I had people cheat on me. I was the cheater sometimes, but we were both the cheaters sometimes. I've done had people lie to me and had people behind my back. I've done had people leave me just to go back to the same situations that they talk about. I've done had people treat me like absolute shit. I've done had people sit there and gaslight me and make it seem like the things that I'm talking about is crazy. Hey, I don't like when you do this. Hey, I don't like when you act like this. And they'll sit there and gaslight me and make it seem like I'm tripping and they're not doing the things that they're most blatantly doing. And then my silly ass would sit there and apologize for some shit that they had caused, that they were the core root of it. You get what I'm saying? I actually went through that shit. And now that I'm in a space where, a tough conversation comes up, a hard conversation comes up, we talk about it and the shit gets resolved, my nigga, Queen, y'all, that takes some getting used to. And that takes some relearning, some reprogramming. It's one thing for you to know that something is available to you. It's one thing for you to know that it's out there. It's something different for you to actually experience and go down the steps required for you to actually have that. And if you aren't in a position where, let's say, your communication isn't the best, or your relationship skills isn't the best, your vetting process isn't the best, your discipline isn't the best, your focus isn't the best, etc., you're going to have to go through a learning curve to get yourself to that next place. But you need to be able to set the goalposts, which is why being able to look around and just ask, shit, who else has did it? You feel me? So you have a little bit more guidance. It's like, man, I remember I was at the beach like 3 years ago, right? 3-4 years ago, maybe. I was still doing photography and stuff like that. So it was probably pushing 5 years, maybe. It was in my early stages and I was, at the beach and this one random white dude walked up to me, right? And I was in this pizza parlor. I'm sitting there and stuff like that. And he's 60 years old. He walked straight up to me because I had my camera set up. And he's like, oh, what's going on? He started talking to me, not realizing early that he was just, trying to see if I was somebody that he could sell a home to, because later on in the conversation, he revealed that he was a realtor, and he was, just telling little stories. He was like, never make anybody make you feel bad for smoking weed, because he gave me a story where he was walking in one of his alleys because it was all these beach homes and stuff like that, in Los Angeles. So he's like, I was walking around all these beach homes. He was in one of the alleys, just smoking. And he ran across somebody else who was out there smoking, and he started talking to him. And long story short, he sold him on a $4 million property over a blunt in the alley randomly. You get what I'm saying? So he was just giving me little gems like that. But he told me, he was like, so, because I guess he kind of sensed I was early in my journey. He looked at me and was like, so what do you do when you got to get somewhere and you don't know where to go? And I was like, I don't know. Do I ask somebody how to get there? And he was like, no. What do you do? He was like, look, man, when you don't know where to go, when somebody gives you an address, the first thing you do is open up your GPS and you put the address in. And he made me feel so fucking stupid. Well, not really, but you get what I'm saying? When he like start overthinking shit, that was like the simplest thing. No fucking shit. I opened my GPS, but I was trying to think so philosophical and shit. I was missing the whole point. So he's like, set the destination. That's the very first step in everything. Once you set the map, once you set the destination in the GPS, you usually have a clear route there. Too many of y'all aren't setting the destination in the GPS, and we're wondering why we aren't getting to where we want to get to. We're moving the goalposts. And that's like driving somewhere and halfway through the drive, you change the destination. Well, fuck, you wasted a whole lot of gas because you could have just went there. You get what I'm saying? We waste time not setting clearly where we want to get. And that comes with vision. That comes with us what? Looking outside, looking around, and being clear on what we know and what we believe to be capable for us, to be achievable for us. And becoming ultra clear. Like I promise you, out of 8 billion people, some of these ideas aren't that unique. You get what I'm saying? Like, but it's doable. It would be... Oh my God, even the most wildest of thoughts that you can have, somebody's had the thought before. Which means probably there's a high chance that there's somebody that's achieved, or is on the way of doing the things that you're asking for, and you just need to open your perspective and find those things. Right. So that was actually a very deep opener. I don't think that was a deep opener. I don't think it was. But I also want to say, man, I still haven't got my glasses fixed. Bullshit, right? I put in the request to, I went to the optometrist. I literally just wanted my prescription. I was going to take it to LensCrafters, and I was going to get like a little $60 pair of like reading glasses or something like that and call it a day. And they're like, oh, but you're doing eye exam and it's covered and all some of this type of stuff, shout out to moms. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do it, Sat there, has to do a whole eye exam. Got some, some decent frames. They were still super duper cheap, right? I literally just need to be able to fucking see. I'm blind right now. Like right now, I don't even know if I'm in focus. So if y'all see me like randomly putting my glasses on throughout the video, spare me. But yeah, they just I haven't gotten me yet. It's been like 3-4 days, so I'm literally walking around half blind and on calls with like my glasses halfway hanging off my fucking face and shit, looking crazy. But y'all gotta work with me. My four-eyed queens, my four-eyed kings, y'all know the struggle. When your glasses fucked up, sometimes you gotta walk around with that tape. Why ain't I tried taping my shit yet? Anyways. The next thing I really wanted to dig in with y'all, right, is... Okay, yeah. The next thing I really wanted to dig into y'all was... This is kind of directed towards the men a little bit. Just keeping us G real, right? I think the ways that we handle our women isn't sometimes the most fair. Right? Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like every woman is an angel walking on earth, because they themselves will tell you that shit. But a lot of times we're moving from a tainted spirit. When some shit happens to us as men, we don't forget that shit. I don't give a fuck who did it to you. If it was your mama, if it was your auntie, if it was your motherfucking sister, if it was a girl, if it was a teacher, I don't care who it was. You remember that shit. You harbor the fuck out of that. And every relationship you get in after that, you're looking for the traits of that shit because you're trying to avoid being in that shit. So you'll start picking apart situations. You'll start picking apart shit. And then the moment you feel triggered, you'll look at the woman like she's the problem, when realistically there's a wound that you have open that you're not addressing. She's reminding you of some whole other shit that went on in your life. And since she's the one that's triggering you in the moment, you're taking it out on your woman as if she was the problem. She raises her voice just a tad. It wasn't even that big of a deal. You could have just let it go. But you didn't like how your mama used to raise her voice at your dad. And your dad used to feel fucked up. He lashed out. So next thing you know, you lashing out because you're getting triggered. You being reminded of that toxic ass household. She just had a little moment. You knew that wasn't in her spirit. You knew that wasn't who she was. But you lashed the fuck out because you got triggered. And that's why I always say we got to be self-aware in our relationships, right? Because women, like I said, they're going to do what they do. They're going to fuck up. They're going to learn. They're going to do better, just like us. They're going to go through the whole cycle, just like men, right? As a man, you need to be focused on the things that you can be doing in your own life to prevent yourself getting in those type of situations, bro. It'd be the same shit I tell them. If you know you have some shit, if you know you have some baggage, go let that shit go. Don't go looking for no motherfucking relationship and you carrying all that shit, bro. What do you think you're gonna attract? What frequency of a woman do you think is gonna run across you? You sitting here thinking every woman is a hoe, every woman's out to get you, every woman's out to cheat on you. You're gonna run across like one or two good ones, but the mass majority of them is gonna be the exact women that you think is out there. And then when those women act like exactly who they are, you're gonna say, see, I told you all women was terrible. No, that woman was going through some shit. And since you were going through some shit, you chose that one instead of the one that was standing right next to her who wasn't gonna put you through that bullshit. You guys always like to say it a lot, you know, girls be playing men for, good girls be playing the good man for the Troys and the Tyrones and shit like that. Man, we do it too. We do. And that's something that you have to realize, because it's like, man, if we were to just choose better. If we were choosing more of the good women and acknowledging when we have something good and actually changing and healing and being fucking accountable, because, you know, it's kind of crazy. We always talk about we don't like holding, the women don't like, they don't like taking accountability and shit like that. We always hold them fucking accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable just as much as we're holding them accountable. And when we say hold ourselves accountable, that's not just saying, yeah, I did that, my fault, I'm sorry. That means actually changing the shit that's causing the situations. That means having a brutal honesty with yourself. Where is this coming from? Where is this rooted? Because some things really isn't your woman, bro. Like y'all be stressed out about work and money and shit like that. Next thing you know, she starts asking you for little shit. Asks you to take her somewhere. She's asking you for more dates, more affection, whatever the case may be. And you're getting mad at her for asking those things instead of getting mad at yourself for the fact that you bullshitting and sleeping until 10 fucking a.m. and going to sleep and going to work for only 4 hours a day and barely being able to pay your shit, and then wondering why you don't have enough money. But if you were to actually be on your shit as a man, maybe her request wouldn't have been that big. Maybe what she was asking for you would have been actually able to do. But your focus isn't where it needs to be. You got to be a man. When you're being a man, it's easier to have a girl. It's easier to have a woman, a wife, a partner, whatever stage of the relationship. It's easier to do that when your main priority is making sure you can actually show up fully. There's no way in hell I'm going to be able to give all this time and energy to a relationship, hold myself accountable, heal, all this other type of beautiful shit. And we focused on how we going to eat. We focused on where we stand. We focused on, how we look. We get insecure and all this other type of shit. We focused on the wrong goddamn things. We need to be focused on, first, how do I get myself out of these predicaments to where I have enough peace of mind and enough free time to where I can invest in this properly? Because, bro, relationships takes energy. You're not just gonna just walk into a relationship and she's just so peaceful and just so relaxing that you don't have to do anything different and you don't have to do no work. Any relationship that's worth staying in is going to require some fucking change on both ends. If you're walking into that shit and you don't have the energy to actually be changing and adapting to your fucking woman, you're gonna want to get her loose, because you're going to think that she's doing too much or she's taking too much of your energy, when it's like, no, your life wasn't prioritized and you were operating off the little bit of what you had. You was only on 5%, my nigga. What was left for your girl? That 5%, of course she mad. Of course she arguing. Of course all these type of things is happening. Bro, you need to have more energy so you can pour into that. What's that saying? You need to have your cup full before you pour into other motherfuckers. Yeah, you need to add that's the thing. You need to make sure your cup is like overflowing. And even if it's not, Your partners need to be for doing the same thing, because when you're not where you need to be, your partner can catch it. That's like when LMA made a song. I don't remember when she released it, probably this year, last year, something like that. Dope artist. I love you, you know? And she made this thing talking about this song called 100. You know, my 20 to your 80, my 40 to your 60, my 90 to your 10, nigga. As long as we get to 100, that's what fucking matters. And if both people are focusing on bringing what they can, as much as they can, to the relationship and really holding themselves accountable, y'all will make it. But y'all don't be giving enough. Y'all be expecting them to overpull and overdo it, because you be like, that's their job, because they're the emotional ones, so we need to make sure they really care. It's like, no, you got to do it too, bro. You got to get vulnerable, my nigga. You got to say that shit while your chest hurt, while you damn near want to cry. Tell her. That's holding yourself accountable. It's not lashing out on her and getting mad at her. None of that is holding yourself accountable. Sometimes holding yourself accountable is telling her so she can hold you accountable, because sometimes you don't see your shadow. Sometimes you'll be fucked up dealing with some shit and you can't pinpoint why your life is going the ways that it is. Maybe if you was honest and you told her, she could tell you. Now, when she tell you, don't let that shit hit your pride, fix it. Because that was the whole point of telling her. Vulnerability, transparency, that shit brings solutions. But we don't be focused on that energy, you guys. This comes with a whole mental reprogramming, like what I said. If you didn't grow up in love, and I get it, some motherfuckers just have a narcissistic personality, like it's a literal personality disorder. They're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Their empathy's out the door. Yes, they're human, love them, all this other type of shit, but getting into that type of situation, you're wasting your goddamn time. I'm talking about the men who probably is on my page because y'all have been through some shit. Y'all are fucked up. Y'all haven't healed. So you're treating women in fucked up ways because you haven't identified the core root problem. Bro, it's not the mass majority of women. It's the women that you're going after based upon the shit that you've experienced. You have a programming, you have a habit. If you fix that urge, that deep pull towards the shit that's not for you, bro, your whole perspective around women will change. Because nigga, they're everywhere. Okay, now I want to take a second to talk about the one-on-one calls, right? I've actually been having a pretty decent time doing that. You know, to be able to see how many women were dealing with some of the things that I speak about was actually surprising at first. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know that there was this many people kind of suffering at one time. And it opened my eyes to my alignment. And I kind of want to say purpose, you know, because like I say in so many of my videos, I've been so insecure about the ways that I thought, the ways that I, broke things down. Now, I'm a real deep writer. I've been writing for at least like the last 6 years, really deeply and really heavily. Something that was taught to me and, kind of passed down from my grandfather. I've just got really deep, and sometimes I didn't know where these thoughts were coming from. Sometimes I didn't know where these epiphanies was coming from. I would interact with somebody and it's kind of like I just read people. And it was kind of throwing me off at first. I didn't know how to necessarily react to it and build upon it. So part of me was like, do I keep putting these things out? Do I keep, sharing this message, etc.? Do I look crazy? Am I making it, harder for me in life simply by sharing my thoughts? Would life be easier if I just took the silent approach? I went through the whole train of emotions. Like, do I make a faceless page? Like, women like blatantly dubbing me and like treating me like shit because of the ways that I thought. They were so infatuated on the Tyrones and how deep he was digging out her doonies that she was becoming stupid. Not she as if it was just one woman, but it was multiple, Like in that video I did with Marcy not too long ago, right? Like my spirit, like I said it in there, my spirit was really tested in order to be able to do the things that I do and sit at the frequency that I am at. And like, how many opportunities and like women that I had the chance to sleep with, but I didn't because my spirit was telling me that's not why I'm meant to be here interacting. That's not why I'm in front of this woman. And it led to me, talking to her, helping her, building with some of them. It was different energies that came from that. And, even now, that same discipline transmuted, and grew. I don't look at the people that I follow and the people that, I help and the people that support me as sexual partners, as intimate partners. I made it past that stage because I learned what discipline was. Keep mastering your energy. And I think that also plays a part that I grew up in a house full of women, so I learned how to master my energy early, how to maintain my energy, so I didn't get overly influenced by, the feminine energy. I was really tested and put through kind of like a little initiation to get to this position to be able to help people. So now that I'm consistently, I've got my foot in the game a little bit, and I've been helping people for a little second now. It's just opening my eyes. It's like, man, everything I was tripping over, everything I was insecure about was kind of bullshit. I haven't really gotten any bad results, Now, granted, if there was a couple, they just didn't reach back out or anything like that. But most people that I've interacted with, I want to say a good 95%. I probably just don't know the other 5%. I'm not delusional, but then I've gotten a pretty high success rate when it comes to, just helping people, opening their eyes. I've even had men tap in, crazy enough, and that's something I don't talk about a lot. I've had men tap in to the one-on-one calls and get on sessions with me, and they understood. You get what I'm saying? They were on the same accord, and they were doing that self-evaluation, is it me or is it this person? And crazy enough, if you come across my page and it forces you to heal, you are an empath. There's men who's on my page healing, they just don't say nothing. It's all these women everywhere and stuff like that. And some of the pieces of content may trigger them, because I talk about insecure men as well as narcissistic men. So depending on how insecure that man is, he may actually wake up. He may actually, have some epiphanies and have some ideas like, oh my God, I actually want to tell y'all about this. Now, y'all gonna say I'm crazy and everything, but once I actually break this down, you'll peep it, right? So, you know how I've been posting everything about the insecure man, and my thing would be like, hey nigga, I be saying the N-word, I'll be getting in their ass, I'm a nigga too, but you know what I'm saying? But I be getting in the insecure man's ass and their dynamics and shit like that. So I'm sitting here and I'm writing in my journal, right? Because I told you earlier I'm a writer. So I'm sitting there and I'm writing, and I had a random thought. It was like narcissism in the music industry. And then I had another powerful thought that just sunk over me, and it was like, oh my God, it's my writing and it's my perspective. It's like I'm a thought leader in something. And I didn't know where that came from, why that energy was so present over me. But I swear, the next 15 seconds, I just hear a song, or I just hear a dude out of nowhere on a song, I'm insecure as fuck. And I'm like, the hell? Right? So I started listening. And it's saying the same things I be saying in my content. I'm like, oh, I'm insecure as hell. I'm doing all these other type of things. I'm like, wait a minute, who is this? I look, it's YG, Jid, and Ab-Soul, right? Now, for most people, this would probably be a little bit of delusion, right? Be like, oh no, why would YG be there? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, right? He released a song probably it's been like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I've been blowing up and going viral talking about this one thing. But the only reason why I'm correlating it so clearly, right? It's my papa, my legacy, right? Not my legacy, his legacy, but the family legacy, right? Very clear on that. But I was around Papa a lot and stuff like that. And, he put out the very first rap album. So I be saying in some of my other pieces of content, I've been exposed to some amazing artists, so some beautiful artists and just crazy things like that, right? So these West Coast rappers know who I am, and crazy enough, Ab-Soul samples my Papa a lot, over there with Schoolboy Q and all them, because pretty sure they're all part of TDE, which is in Watts. right? Which is where my papa is from, the Watts Prophets. You guys can look it up. They put out the first rap album in 1969, and they're from Watts. Papa's from Watts, right? So I was like, wait a second, what's going on? And then it all just started to click, because around the time, I say like a month or so before that, right? I was getting hella fucking paranoid. Like, me and my girl was having dreams. I'm like, bro, what's going on? I'm like, why am I so like out of body for some reason? Like I feel like I have to watch over my shoulder. I feel like I want to move really far. Like I'm just getting really paranoid, right? I went and started tinting up cars and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, I'm tripping. I'm like, what's happening right now? I'm like, is it just because, you know, I'm going viral and I'm not used to this amount of exposure or something like that? Yeah. But when I heard the song, he started saying the exact same things that I was feeling in that moment, in that song. And then it made me realize, I was like, wait, this is spiritual. I was helping that man heal. I was opening that man's eyes on a spiritual level. And I was helping that man do the shadow work. So he raised his frequency and put out a song, which people in the comments was like, oh, I'm not fucking with this. But that was very high vibrational. But like I'm saying, insecure motherfuckers don't usually like when people highlight insecure shit. Depends on how insecure they are, you know? But I was just helping him do that shadow work, and it opened my eyes too. And it was like, damn, that's true, you know? And I told my papa over like breakfast, and he was like, Jalen, they know who you are. Like, they know you're from me. So they listen to what you say. They pay attention. They may not be acknowledging you. They may not be saying anything, but they're listening because they know. And I'm like, oh, you know? And to actually like have those type of things come in my frequency and know like I'm helping behind the scenes. You know, like not every man gets triggered to the point where they're just in complete denial. Some of them's like, wait a minute, he might be onto something. Wait a minute, he might be right in this facet. Maybe I was tripped out a little bit. There's men having those epiphanies. And YG even said it in the song. He was like, you know, I know I'm fucked up. I want to change my image, but if I change my ways, niggas gonna play with my name or something like that. So fuck it, I'm gonna stay the same. And I'm gonna go F this B word and all this other type of stuff. Like, bro, when y'all listen to what the fuck they be saying, bro, a lot of like these rappers who portray this very ignorant and just lustful and crazy spirit, bro, they be woke. They be knowing. But to be the industry and their fan base that be putting them in boxes, because you gotta remember, these people still gotta pay bills. These people still gotta feed themselves. These people still got children and stuff like that, and children that has been accustomed to a certain lifestyle. If that child was born after they done already started making millions of dollars and shit like that, that's a big gap putting that baby back in the projects just because his daddy or his mama or her daddy, her mama didn't want to say some fucking bitches a couple fucking times in the song. They gonna say what the fuck they need to take care of their needs. And y'all, I don't think a lot of y'all be looking at the other side. Like, my papa be saying that a lot. Like, even with Mozzie, right? My papa loves Mozzie. My papa is in love with that nigga, right? He's like, everybody's talking about, oh, he's all violent, gang, yeah. But if you really listening to him, he's sprinkling gems. He talking about love your mama, love your grandmama, you know, granny this, granny that. He's showing love. He's showing niggas what it's like to not resent women. You get what I'm saying? But we'll be so focused on I'm sleepwalking. My Brody hit it. Like, come on, bro. You know, like, are y'all be so. I don't think lackadaisical is the word, but fuck, it's a word I'm looking for. And y'all just not. Y'all don't be looking at things with your third eye. There we go. Y'all third eyes don't be open enough. Man, people's image and who they are be different sometimes. It'd be like, man, my image is this, but their image can only reflect so much fake shit before their true authenticity reaps in, like starts sowing in. So if you look at the little nuances of how people be acting and how people be doing things, it'd be like, oh, I see where your heart is. You have a good heart. You have a good spirit behind you. You understand me? But you know what you're doing. You know how to get what you need done. You know how to get that ball moving. So we be judging people on the delivery, and we be judging people on how they going about certain things, when it's like, nah, you got to look behind the scenes. Some of these people be making money and helping people that you know. You just don't know that they was part of the people who invested and donated into the business that you went to help get your food and all that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Y'all, it be things behind the scenes. And I guess that kind of came from me being behind the scenes, right? And seeing these type of things. And man, it's crazy. I actually want to say, it's crazy how all of these birds just want to start yapping right now as I'm filming. And I don't know if y'all can hear these birds, but man, they've been fucking chattering. They've been going off the hook. And I know there's this thing where it's like birds are spiritual. They be like, birds be giving you messages, and they be messengers, and you have to really tap into the frequency to hear what they saying to you, coming those little whispers. Like my papa say, Ebony Creole whispers, those ancestral whispers, those ancestral voices, they be coming. They be coming. But I'd be lying if I say that shit wasn't like slightly throwing a nigga off. Not gonna lie, man. I feel like there's probably a couple other things that I can talk about in this. You know, I'm actually just training myself, you know, doing these 1 hour things and these 1 hour talks and shit like that. This is a communication thing. And this is strengthening, like, yes, discipline, but it's also just like talking and communicating, getting my thought across, you know, being confident in how I think and how I talk. And not feeling so, you know, the need to perfect everything. You know, like some of the fuckers go out their way and they script everything. Sometimes I try writing and stuff like that, you know, getting some scripts down, but it'd be like, man, I'd be stuttering and shit like that. Like, oh, I didn't say that line right. And I redo it. I'd be like, fuck that. I can talk. My spirit is strong enough and sharp enough, and my discernment is high enough at this point where I don't have to sit there and pre-plan the whole goddamn thing. I just need to do it, right? And this comes with practice. You know, anybody who is getting into content, talking things or anything like that, you're mentoring, you're lecturing, you're leading teams. However, you got to get comfortable with talking, even in a relationship for real. You got to be comfortable with getting your point across, getting your thought across, and not giving a fuck. As long as you get your point across and your thought is across, then we can start thinking about how they feel and all this other type of shit. But first, we need to make sure you explaining yourself correctly. You communicating yourself correctly. You know what I'm saying? You actually saying how the fuck you feel. Because the only thing, because once they start rebuttaling, you gonna still feel fucked up because you didn't say what you truly wanted. You didn't say how you truly felt. So being able to actually express yourself and articulate yourself helps in every fucking area of your life. Your kids, your partners, your family, your co-workers, your passions, man, it doesn't matter. Communication is a bare necessity, bro. That's how humans survive. We need to be able to talk. You get what I'm saying? So it was a point in time, it was writing and carving shit in walls. I'm pretty sure we did sign language and shit at a certain time. I'm pretty sure even in Africa, it'd be like, you get what I'm saying? It'd be a whole bunch of clicks and shit. Now it's talking. We have English. We have like Japanese, Mandarin, Spanish, all this other type of shit that I'm pretty sure, bro, there's like, I'm almost certain there's hundreds of languages. Use them motherfuckers. Learn how to talk and get your point across. And I promise you, your life will start changing. You'll start seeing things shift in your favor just by knowing how to stand on your thought and get it off. Man, that shit wasn't easy for me though. Man, you go back to a couple of my early videos, man, especially I have a burner YouTube. Y'all don't know this, right? It's called Jason Sear. And when you search up Jason Sear, it's a page that I had just for men. And it was a gaming channel that I had from I was like a kid and stuff. So it's videos on there all the way from like 2016 and stuff like that. You know, like literally when I be telling y'all, man, I've been doing this for a long ass time. I was like, I'm not lying. And the proof is in the pudding. The video is still on the page, you know? So, damn, I lost my train of thought. That's some bullshit. I don't like that. I don't like how I just lost my train of thought like that. Oh, no, I got it. So if you go back to on that channel, it's this video called There's Beauty in the Struggle. And I had a fucked up background. That shit, I literally had a cover behind me. It was a blue bed sheet with holes in it, right? And this might be a little bit TMI. This is gonna be TMI. This might be TMI, but I feel like I'm being vulnerable, so I'm gonna tell you guys, right? I had a corn addiction, right? So I'm almost certain that there was probably stains in that cover. I'm just being honest. But I hung I hung it up, right? And then I had this bullshit ass webcam. It was flickering and glitching and shit in the video. Like it was lines popping up and shit like that. It was stupid. I had a little corner in my room. I set up a little bitty light and I just got to talking. Nigga, it was like a 20-minute video or something like that. It was my first ever yap session. But I was like, why not? I feel like I can do this. I feel like there's something I can talk about. You feel me? I still have my hats on backwards and shit like that. You know, like I was never hood, but I grew up in LA. So when you grow up in LA, you take on certain demeanors and certain mannerisms without even recognizing it. And I was looking a little bit like my environment, but my third eye was opening. It was right after I had this trip up north where my grandpa gave me this ankh. And a literal spiritual awakening happened in the middle of the forest. I wake up in tears and shit like that. Like, I don't even think I went to sleep. I don't think I ever woke up. I was just looking into a light and crying and talking. And I don't know how long that shit was, but when I stopped crying, it was morning. So, I don't remember going to sleep that whole time. Yes, real spiritual awakenings are real. I hate when y'all be talking about, well, I went through my awakening and No. Awakenings, bro, they feel surreal. It'd be like, what the fuck just happened? What was I just looking at? What was that? Why is there tears everywhere? Why does it feel like I just repented? See, that little shit going off as a sign. Why, like, what's going on? It's a real surreal, like it's a real out-of-body experience. If you didn't have no real deep out-of-body experience, there probably wasn't no spiritual awakening. You probably just had like a Kundalini awakening or some shit like that. You just had like some common sense kicked in or something like that. I'm just being honest. Like even then, that same trip, I swear to God, within like 2 days later, me and my cousin was walking in the forest. You feel me? Because they have an estate, you know, so it's just empty land, you know, but it's actual forest land. So we down there hiking and stuff like that. Nigga, I was filming, I swear to God. Long story short, we was being stalked by a mountain lion for more than like 15 minutes. We finally got to the bottom of the creek and the shit was right in front of us hiding behind a tree. Nigga, our stupid asses had a broken bow that he didn't want to shoot because he's like, bro, if I miss this, it's the only one and it's about to fuck us up. Why do we turn our backs and run up the mountain? Why did we clear that damn mountain in about like 15 seconds, that to the creek, back up to the top where the houses were at? 15 seconds, that mountain lion didn't kill us. Spirituals, like out of body shit, we're sitting there shaking. Like, whoa. Whoa. Because them motherfuckers watch you. Bro, look, if you ever see a mountain lion, I promise you it saw you first. Don't ever have it mistaken. Even if it's walking past you and it is looking like it don't give a fuck about you and it's not even looking your way, I promise it saw you and it chose not to fuck with you. We gotta give wildlife a lot more grace. I don't think y'all be realizing them niggas are predators. They know how to stalk. It's not like humans. I mean, animals, bro, they're a little different. They do that shit all day, every day. It's different when it's like a lion or you get what I'm saying? Or like a panther. You get what I'm saying? Like oh my God. Oh my God. It'd be so crazy. Like, bro, I saw this clip. Dudes was hiking. He zoomed in on a mountain lion. When he zoomed out, I guess he had this like long ass camera, binoculars. I promise you, that cat was in the trees like a mile and some change away, like 2 mountains away, looking dead into the motherfucking camera. I don't fuck with the wildlife. I love the wildlife, but I respect the wildlife. I respect humans too, but wildlife, god damn. You get what I'm saying? It's like, humans, that's not our natural habitat. That's their natural habitat. The motherfuckers be in the trees. You get what I'm saying? We'll fuck ourselves up, touch a plant and not know. Like, oh, god damn, why is my arm turning purple? Fuck, I gotta get amputated. You know what I'm saying? That's the wildlife. If you don't know, if you aren't aware. That's why I always give grace to it. And I love the wildlife because I feel like that's a spiritual thing too. Trees, water, all that type of beautiful stuff, bro, that's spiritual. Why do you think when you go to like the better parts of like Los Angeles, Hollywood Hills, Beverly Hills, Bel Air and all that type of shit, I promise you there's little mountain ranges. Like they keep their wildlife. That's for a reason. Go into Topanga. I dare y'all to drive through Topanga, Malibu, all that other type of stuff. Look up videos and shit like that. It's just emptiness. It's forest. It's literally the Santa Monica Mountains and the Los Angeles National Forest. They kept the wildlife only in the hills. You wanna know why? Because it purifies the energy. It keeps the energy pure. It clears out negativity. So it makes it easier for them motherfuckers to sit at a higher frequency and make more money because the literal soil that they're on top of is purifying the air in their spirit. I look at shit like that. I'm real deep with it. You get what I'm saying? I don't be letting okie dokes be rad on me. I be like, nah, I know why y'all did that. Why the fuck does LA, why y'all cut down all our goddamn trees, but y'all got all of them up there? Cut y'all shit down too. Why don't y'all got them all up there too? Oh, cause you know that shit is important. That's why you want to live up there. Yeah, look, I went through the whole process. I want to live up there too. You get what I'm saying? I'm not exempt, nigga. I would love to have a big ass house up in fucking Malibu or some shit like that. But you wanna know what's crazy? It's not even the fucking house that I want. It's just a location. Imagine being able to walk straight outside and being able to hike and do all that other type of fun shit while also still being in the city. So like you're not like, it's not like you like moved way out of fucking wander and you're like 5-10 hours away from the nearest city. It's like, no, you're still like 30 minutes, 20 minutes away from the city, but you're in the literal forest. LA has so much diversity, man. It's so diverse. Other parts of the world is diverse too, don't get me wrong, but places look up. Maybe I just didn't explore a lot of Utah and Salt Lake City and shit like that. Places like that, man, it's just snow everywhere. Every fucking where. Even in the city. Like it ain't even, you get what I'm saying? Like it's not a lot of diversity in other places, but I could be wrong, because if I'm right, doesn't Utah have all them canyons and shit like that? I don't know, bro. Give me grace. This young black boy needs to travel. I know. I've been to a couple places. I ain't been everywhere. I know. Give me grace. All right, so we need my glasses on for this part, right? I'm gonna read a comment. One of the queens who commented today. She said, one of the hardest things about a narcissistic relationship is realizing how much of yourself you lost trying to keep the peace. I suspected my husband was cheating on me for years, but I had no proof. It was very difficult and an emotional time for me. Eventually, I focused on having honest conversations and finding clarity for myself through the help of Edward Hampton on TikTok. In the end, I got the answers I needed of him cheating on me and flirting with some other girls outside our relationship, and was able to make the best decision for my peace of mind. If you're going through something similar, trust your instincts and prioritize your well-being. Okay, I need my camera to focus back on me. There you go. Yeah, that's a lot. I want to take my glasses off, but I probably need to zoom in. One of the clear things that even though I'm not diagnosing you with shit, you get what I'm saying? That's not what I'm here for, but I do want to speak on it, you know, because most women want me to speak on these type of things, you know, which is valid. This is what I do, you know, but you said you lost yourself trying to keep your peace. Trying to keep the peace. That is probably one of the biggest things empaths have to learn. Conflict. You get what I'm saying? Conflict is a part of life. And that comes with you setting boundaries. You know, you typically lose yourself when you don't say no enough, when you don't have a backbone. And while in the moment, it seems like you're doing the best possible thing for yourself, you're making the best decisions, yada, 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 you're setting yourself back tenfold. Because the moments that you start allowing things that you know isn't true, you're just hitting at your self-esteem because you're subconsciously telling yourself that you deserve it. And then you're going to start looking for reasonings or justifications as to why you should stay in it, aka as why you deserve it. So that's a very big thing. And when it comes to your intuition, you also got to, now granted, this dude was actually dogging you out. I understand. I'm not going to say my condolences because that's not what it was, but you get what I'm saying? My heart goes out to you. Sometimes it's a trauma response, you know. Now that you've went through this, don't get triggered in your next relationship, see something, and then automatically jump to, oh, they're cheating on me, or they're doing the worst to me, because I was guilty of it too. You know, I was taking my trauma and my pain from my last relationships into new ones. You know, I had a real big abandonment and cheating wound on me. So it was hitting at me. It was making it difficult for me to trust people and, you know, work through these things. But luckily, you know, in the relationship I'm in now, we having these talks and I'm being vulnerable. You know, these are, you know, my triggers, and she's actively working around, you know, and making sure that these triggers aren't as potent and it's not happening as often, because this is an active wound. You know, you got to be cautious of those things. But then it's also the second side where it's like, man, if a motherfucker's sitting here cheating on you, you feel that shit in your spirit. You be knowing exactly when a motherfucker's sitting there doing you wrong. The problem is you just don't want to accept it sometimes. Sometimes you just want to be delusional just for a little bit longer, right? But it ends up setting you back and hurting you, because when you be knowing the truth, it comes with a big slap in the face. Like, man, moments where I've sat there and read the situation to a T. I knew exactly what the fuck they was doing. I sat there with my journal, and man, it felt like I was sitting there for like 30 minutes to an hour, and I was just it was like my spirit was telling me everything about the situation. I tried to ignore it. Like, maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm being a little bit delusional, because that's what this motherfucker gaslighted me with. This motherfucker called me delusional, right? I actually thought that I was delusional. Then to go back and they start telling me the exact same things that I journaled about they ass literally a couple days beforehand, it opened my eyes. Like, man, I'm not delusional. I wasn't tripping. I just wasn't trusting myself. And not trusting myself led me to this instance, because, man, I could have saved me so much time and effort if I would have just trusted myself. But nah, I wanted to let the world make me think I was crazy, make me think intuition wasn't a real thing, make me think that, you know, intuitive guidance wasn't a real thing. Like, man, fuck what these people be talking about. They be these religious people, too, that be telling you don't trust your intuition and stuff like that, man. Intuition, that comes from somewhere. That's you being rooted in source. That's you trusting your gut instinct. Like, man, you have it for a reason. You know, you have to trust that and lean into it, because it's very beneficial. It's very beneficial. You know, address it. If you don't think, if that nudge doesn't leave, if that instinct doesn't go away, it's probably something that you need to address with your partner. But like I always be saying, man, do your shadow work, so you don't be like projecting on people. You know, like, if it really is just you're being triggered because of some past shit, take accountability for it. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, nobody want to be accused of some shit that they not fucking doing. Nobody wants to have to deal with a motherfucker sitting in their ear being like, are you cheating on me? Are you dogging me out? Do you really love me? Are you sure? I think you deserve better. Nobody want to hear that shit. You get what I'm saying? Especially when they aren't doing anything wrong to you. You got to chill out with that shit, because sometimes you bring that energy to a motherfucker who really not doing nothing to you. They're going to be like, man, fuck this. Then they're going to leave. And then you going to think that they was really dogging you out, when it was like, nah, you was projecting too much. You was putting too much heavy ass energy on these motherfuckers, and they was leaving you. You get what I'm saying? You have to realize sometimes when it's you. Sometimes it's you. And I'm not saying that's what was happening with this woman in particular, but I'm just saying in general to whoever's running across this video, sometimes it's you. Sometimes you got to get out your own goddamn way. I'm self-sabotaging. I know I'm fucking up. Even though I don't want to admit I'm self-sabotaging, even though I know I just said some bullshit, I just did some bullshit, I might have to double back and say I'm sorry. Yep, I may have to. I may have to actually fix some shit. Yep. You see, we be too stubborn. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like with love, sometimes you got to put that pride aside. If it's true love, kick that pride to the fucking window. You don't need that shit. If it's true, authentic love, both of you guys give a fuck, both of you guys want it, man, you better try. You better give it what the fuck you got, because when you lose that shit because you didn't give it all you fucking had, and you run across another motherfucker and they sit there and dog you out, man, you gonna be sitting there praying you didn't do that bullshit to the last one. You gonna be sitting there blowing her phone up, blowing his phone up. Oh, come back, I know I learned my lesson, and they not gonna want to hear it. You get what I'm saying? When you have something good, put that pride to the side and do what the fuck you gotta do to keep that ring on your finger. Because it's like, man, it ain't a lot of good people left out here. A good percent of these motherfuckers came out the womb with personality disorders. The other 75%, They walked into this motherfucker and they just got so hurt by life and that they're just walking around this bitch insecure because society and all the programming that they didn't put in, the propaganda, the media, the music, the movies, they're just everywhere, into the food. Like, they just fucked up because they not in tune to their own spirit. They don't know themselves. They third eyes isn't open. And then when some motherfuckers third eye is open, they go into a spiritual psychosis and they turn more retarded than they were before their third eye was open, because they just become so fucking woo-woo that they're out of touch with reality. And then there's that small portion right there who actually understands what the fuck is going around, what the fuck is actually happening in this bitch, and they have their heart intact. It's only about like 5% who actually fucking give a fuck, who actually worked through all the traumatic shit. They came out the womb, everything's good, they don't got no disabilities, and they took the accountability to fix their own lives instead of sitting there being a victim or just being oblivious to the shit. Because some of these people, I'm gonna be honest with you, they're just bots. They're just NPCs. They don't even realize that they're not living life how they need to. They're just fucking retarded. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're just so packed on with propaganda, the media, the news, and all this other type of shit, man. Talking to them is like talking to a brick. They don't know what's going on. It's going out. It's going in one ear and out the other. They're clocking in tomorrow at 6 o'clock sharp. They don't give a fuck what you talking about. You get what I'm saying? Some people, they just lock the fuck in. They gonna sit there. They gonna watch Korn every single day to the moment they die. They gonna say that they celibate when in reality they just can't get none because they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to go towards better people. So they gonna sit there and cuck themselves out for the rest of their life. Like, I mean, there's people really suffering and they don't know that that's suffering. Like they just don't know. They think that's normal. That's not us. People on my channel, we know. If you're on my channel, you're part of the 5%. There's no way in hell you're not part of the 5%. Because the shit that I talk about, the perspectives I bring, the energy I bring, the insecure motherfuckers, the real deep ones who's not gonna get out that bitch, they're just NPC'd out, they're getting too triggered. They don't even watch my shit. You get what I'm saying? And the ones who have the personality disorder and shit like that, it's probably not even popping up on their page. And even then, if it is, they don't want to watch that shit. If you're actually watching my content, you're part of the 5%. I mean, you're part of the people who's actually going to uplift the mass majority of this fucking planet. You wanna know something crazy? You could be surrounded by darkness, complete and utter darkness. Nigga, you turn on one light, that one light is about to go miles depending on how dark it is. A small ass light. That 5%, we can light this whole bitch up. You get what I'm saying? We can overpower it with our healing and our perspectives. And even if the whole world doesn't change, fuck, at least our immediate surroundings do. At least our personal experience do. All because everybody else struggling and fucked up. We don't have to be that. We don't have to choose that route. We all go through shit, but some motherfuckers stay in they shit and then make it they shit. We don't do that. We go through shit and we leave that shit where we left it. Once we get through it, we ditch it. We don't put it in our backpack and bring it with us. We leave it. We move through this life very light, with a very forgiving and open frequency, because it's like, man, what the fuck am I sitting here thinking about all this for? Y'all don't do nothing for me. Y'all not bringing me nothing. Y'all not no threat. Y'all not no nothing. What the fuck am I stressing about this shit for? Let me move on with my goddamn life. What am I tripping over? Sometimes you got to get to that perspective. You motherfuckers just NPCs. If you part of the 5% that got your eyes open, why are you tripping over the NPCs, bro? Sis, leave them alone. You don't even got to interact with them. And it's all love, but it'd be like, what the fuck? You just got to find your people. Sometimes within that little 5%, your people is only 1% of that 5%, because the other 4%, even though they're on that frequency, they're so locked in into what the fuck that they're doing, and they're on a completely different trajectory in life. They're never going to run into you, but they're part of your people, but you're not going to run into them. You're probably only going to run into like 1% of your actual people, your people who is meant for you. And that's very fucking slim. That's probably your soulmate, one best friend, and probably your fucking kids. You might have a family member. You get what I'm saying? It's like, you're not gonna run across a lot of people who were truly meant to be and stay in your life. So when you do have those instances, when you do have those people that run across you, love them, cherish them. Because I promise you, you're going to run across more people who fuck with your self-esteem than you do people who uplift you. Every single time. It doesn't, like this is like a known fact. That's why they say keep your circle small, or like love the people close to you, focus on your household, focus on who's in your house. It's like, man, what do you focus on the streets for? What do you focus on outside for? It don't help you at all. What helps you is focusing on the things that's important, and it's usually the things that's in your immediate surroundings. Okay, and last but not least, I just want to thank you guys. Honestly, for one, making it this far in the video, but for two, actually supporting me. You guys show me genuine support. You guys actually engage with my content. You guys buy my products. You guys reach out to me for help. You guys trust me to actually help you guys. I thank you guys in a real way. Like, I posted this video saying that you guys really did open my opportunities up. Y'all made it where I'm not down and out. I'm not perfect. I'm still damn near in the same situations, but I'm not struggling. I'm calm. You understand what I'm saying? I'm in a position where I can hire my little brother. Like, hey, bro, I need help. I'm doing a lot. Can you help me edit and stuff like that? I'm in a position where I can actually bring my girl on, be like, hey, babe, I know you don't want to do all this other type of stuff. Maybe you can help me over here and we may be able to do something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all put me in a position to where, like, I can bring ease to not only myself, but the people around me. So I thank you guys. I genuinely do. Like, I've tried building businesses before, got them up, failed, dropped them, did Uber, Starbucks. Like, I didn't have a lot of jobs. I was very stubborn. Crazy enough, I knew very early I wanted to be an entrepreneur because I knew the things that I wanted to do, the ways that I wanted to help people and impact people. It probably wasn't going to be possible taking a traditional route. So I actually suffered a lot going against the grain because I knew that something else was possible and I knew that something else was achievable. So in moments where I could have just took the easy route out and just sent that job application in the back of my head, I knew that that was 4 to 8 hours that realistically I should have been putting into something else. And if I put it into the things that's truly meaningful to me and the things that I give a fuck about, that I know is supposed to happen, the things that's pulling me as purpose, I'll see the results of that. And like what they always say, things take time. Man, you can be focused, you can say you want it, you can be putting in the work, but sometimes you're not. It says you gotta wait a couple more years. And that's not an easy pill to swallow, but it's like the only reason you typically have to wait a couple more years because you're not as focused as you think. Crazy enough, some things only really take like a good 6 months, but we don't be as focused as we think. We be only given the shit that we give a fuck about like 20 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, or something like that. Man, you gotta give a lot more energy to the shit that you give a fuck about. I had to really sacrifice to get to a position where I can even reach you guys to help you. I didn't just post a video and automatically get to the exact people who needed my message. I had to find you guys. So I thank you. I thank you guys for being receptive because, man, that search was getting hard. Like what they say, find your people. Fuck, I was trying to find my people for a very long time. I was getting bullied in school, everything. I'm like, I've been isolated. And that's why I've been posting content. But it took me until I'm 23 right now. I turned 24 November 8th for my fellow Scorpios and stuff like that. But it took me a pretty damn long time. I started at 13. And everybody be like, man, you're super duper young and all this other type of stuff. I don't think y'all realize how early I started. Yeah, it seems like I've got pretty far for how young I am, but man, I was doing it early. While people was out having fun, having sleepovers, doing different things, I was inside editing, making gaming videos, posting on YouTube. You get what I'm saying? I was having a different experience. And that's why my focus and my work ethic is where it's at now, because I have a lot of compound interest. This is compound interest. This is me actually putting that work in and seeing the results of it. That's why it's like, I thank you guys with like the depths of my heart, because when you know something's for you, but you're not seeing the results from it, that will fuck with you. My mental was getting fucked with because I wasn't with you guys yet. The support that you guys have gave me has been out of this world, man. In March, I was still at 5,000 followers. I'm at over 100K on multiple platforms. Damn near like 150 on TikTok. Y'all are moving weight. Y'all, and I don't even think I've completely processed it yet. You know how everybody be popping out with like balloons and cakes and shit when they get like 100K? It just looked like a number. I was just more focused on the mission. There's this many people reacting, and there's this many people who listen and actually needed what I had to say. And it put like an extra level of importance or like urgency on me, where it's like, I gotta take myself way more serious. I gotta believe in myself a lot more. I can't be thinking in the ways that I was, because whoa, I was tripping. I was about to stop. I was about to listen to these motherfuckers. Wait a minute. Wait, I gotta really clear my energy. I don't want to tell y'all the wrong things. I want to lead these queens to greatness. Wait, let me focus on myself a little bit more. Let me start working out. Let me get the trainers. Let me get the books. Let me get my own goddamn coaches. Let me do what the fuck I need to so I can serve these people to the best of my ability. That's how I felt. I went from posting like 5-6 videos, and y'all getting 12 and a motherfucking long form YouTube video every day, probably a couple. On top of fulfillment, I'm still getting on the phone calls with y'all. When that thing, ding, booking happened, oh, it's in a couple hours, let's do it. I'm already prepping for it. My life is capsulated, man. I walk outside, people start venting to me. People who didn't even know what I do yet. They just had an urge to come talk to me. Hey, what's your name? You know, what do you do? I just had to ask. Oh, I'm going through what you're talking about. Oh, right. I live through my gift. This is not no internet shit to me. I've really had to put energy into myself, my environment, and you guys in order to get to where I'm at, man. The amount of talks and the amount of perspectives and the amount of situations, like, man, when you start hearing all these different nuances, man, it opens your eyes too. I was like, damn, I didn't realize y'all was going through that much. Like, I was aware of the behaviors and but I didn't know y'all was going through that extent to these extremities. That was healing for me as well. Like, oh, I'm about to give y'all a lot more grace, a lot more love. Because I wasn't aware. You know, you can know, but when you actually start getting the phone calls with these women and these men, the majority of my audience is women. The man is in there, like I said earlier in the video. But when you start getting in the phone, when you actually start talking to them, you hear the cracks in their voice. You hearing how their spirit was literally damaged by the shit they went through. It's like, you know what? I'm here for a reason. And I'm going to believe and stand on that shit, because I know I'm here for a reason. And I'm going to do everything in my capacity to make sure that I can help you guys and deliver and stand on what the fuck I started. I didn't come this far just to psych out and kick my feet up and get comfortable. Well, I got 100K, got a little bit of passive income. No, it's beyond that shit, bro. I'm helping people. You ever had somebody walk up to you and start hugging you, crying? I got out because of you. Thank you. You know how that makes me feel? How that makes me see things in a different light, where it's like, this isn't just internet shit to me. It's never been. Like I said earlier in the video, the only reason why I'm doing the things I'm doing now is because my spirit had to get tested in real life. I had to feel the fire. I had to see the adversity. I had to control myself and build the discipline in real life to do it over the internet. That's why I'm solo. Because I did the work. I did the work. And since God saw the work that I was doing, it's like you did the work that was required for you to reach these people. Because I had to learn the lessons. There's no way in hell I'd be able to get on this camera and talk to y'all like this and get on these phone calls and help y'all if I didn't have to learn the lesson. I had to hit my head. I was the one in you guys' shoes, going back, getting cheated on, getting dogged out, thinking I'm ugly, feeling fucked up, not having enough energy to go after my goals. Everything, I was you guys. I had to hit my fucking head and learn the lesson once and for all so I can be in a position where I can look at somebody else and see clearly the lesson that they're going through. So yeah, damn, I just got passionate as hell. That was the end of the video too. Where was that passion in the first 5 minutes? The first fucking hour? God damn, they got so many goddamn clips. When I'm passionate, that's when the real come out. I feel like y'all like my passion. It be the passion. You know, certain things I just give a fuck about more. Certain things like you'll know it, you'll hear it. But you know, that's just me keeping it real. So yeah, man, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I want y'all to go click the link down in the description, right? If there's anything in there that you guys want or that you guys think may help you, get it. If it's a one-on-one call with me, don't hesitate. It's on your spirit for a reason. Go ahead and get it. If it's one of the books, if it's the bundles and stuff like that, get it. You don't know why your spirit is leading you to it. You know, a lot of us, we be hesitant. Sometimes it's just taking the first step. A lot of women that I talk to, a lot of men that I talk to would be like, man, thank you. I just really needed the clarity. I thought I was fucking tripping. That's what my store is built for. If you think you're tripping, if you think you're going through some shit, if you think you're just losing it, go down there, and something in there is going to give you that confirmation you need to walk forward, whether it's me or within my writings. Something is there. So yeah, I love y'all, I love y'all, I love y'all. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.